This results in a stocking density of about 4.5 to 5 animals per hectare, depending on the conditions of the farm. Our management has evolved to work with 4 to 5 groups, accommodating an average of 126 cows in total. It is possible to maintain averages of 30 liters per day without major difficulties. Here we have installed a simple roof to prevent mud formation. We also built drainage ditches to stop water from accumulating, allowing the cows to move around comfortably. The cows receive supplemental concentrate during the morning and afternoon milkings. The goal is to keep 30 to 35 animals per group. We are here at El Hato Farm, located in the San Félix district in Antioquia. It is a property almost 100% covered by Kikuyu grass, Pennisetum clandestinum. We have between 120 and 130 cows in lactation on an area of 24 hectares. This gives us a stocking density ranging from 4.5 to 5 animals per hectare. We divide the cows into 4 to 5 groups, totaling an average of 126 cows. The average production is 25 to 27 liters per cow per day, which varies significantly depending on forage availability. We use a daily paddock system and provide a third supplementation between 9 and 11 a.m. In addition to milk production, we also work with rearing. We have approximately 45 lactating heifers. We also manage the weaned heifers and the young cows. When the heifers become pregnant, we transfer them to another property. Pasture management focuses on nitrogen fertilization, with nitrogen being the most applied nutrient. We apply between 800 and 1,100 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare per year, which is a relatively high rate. Access to the paddocks is provided by internal paths. Some paddocks are close to the milking parlor, but others are as far as 1 kilometer away. As a result, the cows walk about 4 kilometers per day. We distribute the cows according to their milk production. We have a group exclusively for heifers. The other groups are organized according to days in lactation and milk production. Behind me are the high production cows. We have 3 other groups separated based on the stages of lactation or production level. When we dry off the cows, they are transferred to the dry cow group. In the dry cow group, they only consume Kikuyu grass. Afterward, they are moved to the pre-calving group, where they begin a balanced diet. Then they go to the calving pen, where we provide corn silage, grass, and anionic concentrate. As the cows calve, and depending on the number of cows in each group, we create a transition group for the period from calving to the first 15 or 20 days of lactation. After this, the cows move to the high production group, and if there are only a few cows in the group, they are individually transferred to the high production groups. We have about 6,000 square meters dedicated to the lactation of the heifers. The system is more traditional and simple. We tie the heifers to small stakes. In the first weeks, we do not provide water or concentrate. However, after the first week, we begin offering water and concentrate ad libitum. We follow the management according to their growth, and now we are going to check on how they are doing. Here, the heifers are exposed to the weather day and night. The standard practice is that at birth, the heifer receives preferably 4 liters of colostrum. We use a probe to ensure they receive this amount of colostrum. We do not store colostrum. It is provided directly by the mother. Additionally, we treat the navel with iodine. The next day, the heifers are placed in the baldistaca system, a stake with an individual bucket. There, they receive concentrate, water, and continue to be exposed to the weather. The advantages of this system are that they get used to the climatic conditions and are kept individually, which allows us to better control the concentrate intake of each heifer. This way, we can identify if any of them are not eating properly. We carry out weaning at 3.5 to 4 months of age, gradually. We start with 2 liters of milk in the morning and 2 liters in the afternoon. Gradually, we increase the amount to 6 liters per day. When weaning time comes, we first remove the afternoon feeding so that the heifers increase their intake of grains, making the transition smooth. This is one of the principles here, making changes very gradually for the heifers. This way, the transition from the lactation phase to the ruminant phase occurs calmly and naturally. We have seen good results with this method. We wean in groups and the transitions are gradual. These are the heifers in the weaning phase. Some of them receive only 1 feeding in the morning or no longer receive milk. We continue to keep them tied, offering concentrate and water to make the adjustment easier. Once they are fully accustomed to being without milk, we release them and group them in lots of 15 to 20 animals. These groups are taken to paddocks, where they receive 2 kilograms of concentrate per animal and have ad libitum access to pasture.
Is it pelleted?
Yes, it's pelleted. Let's see if there's still some left here or if they've already consumed it. It's a pelleted concentrate. It's not completely finished. We'll check in a little while. It's a pelleted concentrate with 19% protein. We try to formulate it with starches that don't exceed 32%, keeping starch levels low. We aim to use raw materials that provide good energy for the concentrate. For example, it's difficult to source pectin here. We don't have beet or citrus pulpa, so we use a lot of soybean hulls, corn, and distiller's grains. This helps prevent the heifer concentrate from having too much starch. This batch here is for the heifers. The other one would be for the high production group. On this farm, we organize the groups according to days in lactation. This allows us to provide strategic supplementation at specific times. These cows are already used to it, and right now they're going to be fed. They receive concentrate supplementation during both the morning and afternoon milkings. However, cows averaging 38 liters of milk per day need a high amount of concentrate supplementation. To avoid offering large amounts of concentrate only during the morning and afternoon milkings, which could cause acidosis, we divide the supplementation into 3 moments. At this time, these cows receive a special concentrate tailored for them. Since these cows are in the first third of lactation, we focus on reaching peak production. We aim for them to be pregnant already. Therefore, the strategic supplementation for these cows is at a higher level of bypass protein. We use organic minerals and bypass fat, which is quite different from what we use for cows with more than 200 days in lactation. For those cows, the protein requirements are lower, as well as the energy, organic minerals, and additives. For them, we offer a different type of concentrate at 10 a.m. In the milking parlor, the concentrate is the same, but outside of it, we use a specific product for each group. Look at these Urholas. They are the result of an F1 cross between Holstein and Jersey. As I mentioned before, they can even be compared to pure Holsteins. With the technique of supplementing with 3 doses of concentrate, we've been able to significantly reduce the incidence of acidosis. We also see the results in the milk solids. Notice that the cows don't appear dirty. These animals can consume 12 to 13 kilograms of concentrate with a high starch load in their diet, but it is distributed in 3 daily meals. This helps us avoid problems like acidosis. When examining the manure, they show no typical signs of acidosis, such as diarrhea or very dirty tails. This also helps maintain better persistence in milk production. With this approach, it's possible to maintain averages of 30 liters without much difficulty. Look at these Urholas here. This F1 cross works very well because they are more resilient cows, with stronger hooves and legs, good milk solids, and in terms of production, they can be on par with high-producing pure Holsteins. Here we have newly calved cows. They first go through the pre-calving group, which has a diet with anionic concentrate and differentiated management. After calving, they are transferred to this group and remain here, depending on production and lactation stage, until 100 days or based on performance. We perform biweekly regrouping, evaluating which cows no longer meet the standards. For example, cows that are already pregnant and whose production dropped from 30 to 40 liters to 28 liters are moved to another group with a different diet in the third stage of lactation. In grazing systems, the dry matter intake from pasture is the determining factor. This cow genetics ensures a good dry matter intake per day, ideally 14 kilograms, which allows the genetics to perform well in this system. With proper management in pasture-based systems, it is possible to achieve averages of 30 to 35 liters without much difficulty, as long as the intake of quality dry matter is ensured and strategic. Tailored supplementation is provided for each group and lactation stage. By correctly identifying the needs of the first third, the peak, the mid-lactation, and the late lactation periods, we can achieve high levels of production and good profitability. For instance, we observe that when the number of cows in a group exceeds 35 animals, the availability of space at the feed bunk decreases and average production starts to drop. We aim to keep between 30 and 35 cows per group, ensuring a maximum of 2 or 3 cows per feed bunk so that all cows can consume their diet. While it is difficult to ensure a completely homogeneous diet for all cows, the strategy of the third diet has worked very well to achieve peak production, maintain persistence, reach pregnancies, and increase stocking capacity. During the summer or winter months when forage availability decreases, we adjust the type of supplement provided. We add effective fiber to compensate for the reduced dry matter intake from the pasture, helping to overcome these shortages. In this way, we adjust the supplement to meet the specific needs of this time of day. Here, estrus detection and insemination are done without collars, pedometers, or similar technology. We perform checks every 14 days and work with a monthly pregnancy goal. We mark the cows to identify, for example, which cows will be synchronized on a specific date. We also record and monitor possible mounts or services at 18 and 21 days of the cycle. Ideally, we create a transition group for newly calved cows. When they are 3 days postpartum, we confirm that they are active with no retained placenta or other problems. These cows are then transferred to this group, where we begin supplementing them with a focus on reaching peak production. The concentrate used is formulated with moderate starch levels, but a high concentration of bypass protein, including fish meal. We also add additives such as buffer acids, yeast, and organic minerals. This group benefits the most from additives. For cows with lower production or already pregnant, we reduce the protein level and additives using simpler supplements. The concentrate formulation for this group includes ingredients like fish meal, extruded soybeans, soybean meal corn, soybean hulls for fiber, and corn distillers. We have observed that the third diet encourages cows to increase their forage and water intake. The cows relax, lie down, and with the third diet, they return to pasture with a better appetite. This helps maintain cows later in lactation with good body condition, consistent production, and persistence. High production groups, such as this one for newly calved cows, show that managing groups of 30 to 35 cows is efficient. However, we've observed that when cows are moved from one group to another, they may experience a dip in production. That's why we work with stable groups, adjusting the diet according to lactation days. As cows move from their peak production, become pregnant, and approach the dry period, we adjust the third diet to meet their new needs, avoiding frequent group changes. Here, the crossbreeding with Jersey, like the F1s inseminated with Holstein, has also worked very well. These cows are more resilient, with good milk production and solids, as well as greater resistance to pasture-based management. In Colombia, milk payments are based on protein, fat, somatic cell count, and colony-forming units. Therefore, the goal is to combine high milk production with high solids content. We work with nutrition and genetics to select bulls that guarantee productive cows, both in terms of leaders and solids quality, maximizing financial returns. This is another important aspect of the third diet. When you need to feed a cow that produces 40 or 50 liters in pasture systems, a lot of concentrate needs to be included. If this is only done in 2 doses during the morning and afternoon milkings, and the concentrate contains 50% to 56% starch, you create peaks of ruminal acidity, both in the morning and afternoon milkings. This can result in low milk solids, especially fat, which falls well below the ideal. With the third diet, we distribute the starches in 3 daily doses. In this way, we avoid peaks of acidosis, and this approach has worked very well. We see an improvement in milk solids, with an increase in fat and protein levels when the concentrate is provided in 3 meals. The results on this farm are protein at 3.5%, fat at 3.2%, colony-forming units between 5,000 and 10,000, and somatic cell count varying between 300,000 and 1,000,000. These are the values we maintain. The MUN, milk urea nitrogen, is a factor that must be carefully managed in pasture-based systems. Kikuyu grass, due to high nitrogen fertilization, can have protein levels between 24% and 26%. This means a high amount of non-protein nitrogen requiring the supplementation of rapidly fermentable energy in the rumen to optimize microbial protein and bypass protein production, without exceeding the amount of nitrogen provided by concentrates. We need to formulate concentrates with high-quality proteins, but at reduced levels. MUNs between 18 and 24 indicate that we are dealing with additional costs due to excess protein in the diet. The cow also incurs an energy cost to excrete this excess nitrogen, which reduces the energy available for maintenance or production. Furthermore, excess nitrogen is not beneficial for the environment. Therefore, it's crucial to balance proteins well in the concentrates. Constantly monitor MUN levels, pasture quality, rainfall, and sunlight. This way, we adjust protein levels to ensure economic efficiency, avoid additional dietary costs, and minimize environmental impact. By doing so, we maximize the cow's energy utilization, directing it toward maintenance and production. Let's take a look at the paths. Over there we can see 2 types of paths. This is the milking parlor, which serves 4 lots of dairy cows. The cows can walk up to 950 meters to reach the farthest pasture, totaling about 4 kilometers per day to be milked. We have 2 types of paths. This one here, made of concrete, which requires less maintenance but is very hard on the cows, causing impact on their hooves. And we have this other one, which we prefer, made of dirt. Here, we only installed a cover to prevent the formation of mud and ditches for water drainage. The cows walk with much more comfort on this type of path. It's common to find farms that use concrete paths and place plastic alongside, but these plastic paths require constant maintenance. Even so, the cows adapt better to dirt paths. It is essential to understand that milk production is a system and that nutrition is one of its key pillars. We need to understand it deeply. At the Santa Fe Agroinstituto courses, we learned all about this. They offer feeding courses that explain in detail the NASM 2021 and the latest updates. In the courses taught by Dr. Hutchins, we learned very well about the different stages of feeding and group management of animals. We apply these concepts on the farms because feeding a freshly calved cow is not the same as feeding a cow late in pregnancy. We also understand the importance of nutritional management for transition cows, including the use of concentrates and anionic salts. All of this is covered in these courses, which are valuable tools to make milk production more efficient and profitable. Leveraging this knowledge is essential to improve results and management on the farms.